Well, hello guys, it's legoshowtv here, and today I'll be reviewing Transformers: The Last Night. And I will be summing up this 2-hour and 30-minute movie in a nutshell. So basically, what it is, what it comes down to. Keep in mind, I haven't seen any of the other Transformers movies, but I was able to keep up with the basic storyline of this movie. It wasn't too overly complicated, but basically what it is the Decepticons are going toward or looking for an ancient sword that King Arthur and all of them used in the days of at that time. So when they were over there in England and fighting and all that stuff. And I just want to caution you right now, spoilers. Okay, yeah, get that out of the way. But so they're going after this sword that this guy got from this ancient robot back in those days, and it somehow got into possession of the England people. And Optimus Prime goes look for his creator, and Megatron's after him, and they're all in this world order thing where all the Autobots are, and all the Transformers are hated by the humans because they've destroyed all their stuff, and you know they're being hunted. It takes it to this guy named, played by Michael Wahlberg, Caden, I think. I'll have to check on the name, something like that. And we also see these kids in a junkyard. There's one named Z or something like that. And Optimus, he does get turned evil, and so that plays into the story toward the end of the movie. He's on Cybertron for a little bit. He is in this movie, and Bumblebee is too, and Megatron, and mostly all of them. They go for this one part. It was kind of funny, where Megatron is trying to get the people to get the Decepticons out of jail, and they're like, "Which ones?" And he says a certain one, like, "No, too dangerous," and one has to stay in the country, in the county, and one had like a single murder, a double murder, a triple murder. It was kind of funny. And then we meet this other girl that's a researcher, and we also meet Anthony Hopkins' character, which is also in trailers. And there's just a lot of action in this movie. There is a lot of action to follow. Now, some of you will know that what this storyline is, and some of you won't. I haven't seen the other ones. The only Transformers stuff I truly do like is the old Transformers show called Transformers Animated. The more kiddish version of the Transformers that was not as complex as the movies. And not like any of these other versions of the TV show. And it had the kid named Sorry, and she was a robot and all that stuff. The less complicated, I call it the less complicated version. Yeah. Anthony Hopkins' character is a British researcher, along with this other girl. And I don't know the actor's name. But so she's British, and they end up finding out that she's the Last Night. She's the descendant of King Arthur himself, and Murloc, and all of those people. And yeah, I remember studying in school about King Arthur and Murloc and stuff like that. And so I was kind of getting where this was going. She's the descendant and all that stuff. And so they find that, and Optimus gets turned evil. And Bumblebee can't talk, so that's a thing, which I knew. I knew he had like not been able to ever talk, and at one point, I think it was even in the trailers. I saw a video on it. I think, and at one point they give him this voice box that sounds like Siri, which brings me up to another point that I'm going to express more when I get done with the details later. The two flaws with this movie is, now I took my 8-year-old nephew and my mom to see this movie, and it was 2 hours and 30 minutes. My other nephew, Chase, he didn't want to go because it was so long. I don't like the length of this movie. It was exhausting. Yes, it has lots of action and very cool effects and stuff in it, and it just has a lot of action. And yeah, another issue is the cussing in it. There are some minor words, so if you were like gonna take your little brother to it or something, you might not want to do that. Just saying. They would have to be like 7 years old or older. At least 10, not younger than 7. So, yeah. So, just tell them it's not okay to do use that kind of language. They don't throw like any F-bombs or anything. Don't worry about that. But they use it way too much, and that's what hurts the movie for me a little bit. And yeah, it just, that and the length of the movie is the two minor things that I would consider that. The 2 hour, are you able to sit through 2 hours and 30 minutes? Now, my dad watched it on Amazon Fire Stick, and it was not as good quality because it's not, they're recording it. So, yeah, it's not good quality. I suggest going to the theater if you're going to go take this, or you're going to wait several months for this movie to come out on DVD. And, yeah. So, they have a lot of action sequences eventually. Bumblebee has to fight Optimus, and surprisingly the twist happens. He talks, and he's like, Optimus, it's me, Bumblebee. I would lay your life down. I would lay my life down for you. And he's under this command of this Cybertronian woman. And her name's kind of weird. And inside the Earth is Unicron or something like that. And he even turns evil to the point where he says, I am Nexus Prime. And yeah, he does say that. And Bumblebee's able to snap him out of it. And there's also this little girl. Now, people had issues with the little girl. She actually has quite a role in the movie. And getting the kids to cuss in the movie is not very nice. And that's why I would not take people or kids under 6 to this movie. And yeah, because there's a not so nice language in it. Like I said, they don't use the F-bomb, but they do say the other minor words. So yeah, so they do win. As far as I know, Cybertron is gone, and there's these horns that pop up all over the world that they have to do something with. And there's an after credit scene which kind of explains that. Something else is coming, and yeah. anything I discussed in this movie, you can correct me if I'm wrong. There was just a lot of action. It was very hard to follow. One of those movies that's also hard to follow. I had hard time following some of the stuff. I knew that it was like they were tracking down this one guy played by Mike Rowenberg, and he couldn't talk to his daughter for like 5 minutes. He couldn't like speak, but she could to him. It At some points it was confusing, and at some points it was okay. For the most part, it was okay. It's a good film. It has a lot of action if you're looking for something with a bunch of action and explosions and stuff. It's evenly matched with the Transformers and Humans, and yeah, it's evenly spaced. And I'm sorry if you hear my dad on the lawnmower, but yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna give this movie a 9, and yeah, or it could be an 8.5 because of the language and the length. But I'm gonna be generous and give it a 9. And so, yeah, for my first Transformers movie, I will say it's a 9. So, yeah, that's about it. So, remember I said some spoilers in this, so be warned. And, yeah, will you go see Transformers the last night? Have you seen the other movies? I haven't. Yeah. I may have seen, like, a little bit of the other movies, but I knew, like, from the shows, from the one animated TV show that I watched, who the three the Dinobots were. Like, one of them was called Grimlock. I forgot the other two. I used to have toys of them back in. Yeah, I was kind of confused on which one was Ratchet and all of them, but the two I can make out clearly was Bumblebee and Optimus and Megatron. But yeah, I just hope Megatron doesn't survive. But yeah, that's about it. So please comment, like, and subscribe when you go see it. Tell me in the comment section below, did you like the other Transformers movies? And I will see you next time. Goodbye.